God makes second nights all white and still. For thee you can look or listen. Moonshine and snow on field and hill, all silence and all glisten. Zeckle crept up quite unbeknown and peeked in through the winder, and there sat wholly all alone, with no one nigh to hinder. A fireplace filled the room's one side, with half a cord of wood in. There weren't no stoves till comfort died, to make ye into a pudding. The wanted log shot sparkles out toward the pootiest blesser, and little flames danced all about the chiny on the dresser. Again the chimbley crooknecks hung, in amongst 'em rusted. The old queen's arm that ran her young, fetched back from Concord busted. The very room 'cause she was in seemed warm from floor to ceiling, and she looked full as rosy again as the apples she was peeling. 'Twas kin a kingdom come to look on such a blessed creature. A dog rose blushing to a brook, ain't modester nor sweeter. He was 6 foot, a man A1, clear grit and human nature. None couldn't quicker pitch a ton, nor plow a furrow straighter. He'd sparked it with full 20 gals, had squat 'em, danced 'em, druv 'em. First this one then that, by spells, all is he couldn't love 'em. But long o'er his veins would run, all crinkly like curled maple. The side she brushed felt full of sun as the south slope in April. She thought no vice had such a swing as his'n in the choir. My, when he made old 100 ring, she knowed the Lord was nigher. And she blushed scarlet right in prayer when her new meetin' bunnet fell somehow through its crown of hair, old blue eyes salt upon it. To say why gals act so or don't could be presuming. Maybe to mean yes and say no comes natural to women. That night, I tell ye, she looked some. She seemed to have got a new soul, for she felt certain sure he'd come down to her very shoe sole. She heard a foot, and knowed it too, a rasping on the scraper. Always to once her feelings flew like sparks in burnt up paper. He kin a littered on the mat, some doubtful on the Zeckle. His heart kept going pity-pat, but hern went pity-Zeckle. And yin she get her chair jerk, as though he wished him further, and on her apples kept to work, paring away like murder. You want to see my pa, I s'pose? Why, no, I come designing. To see my ma, she's sprinkling clothes again tomorrow evening. He stood a spell on one foot first, then stood a spell on the other, and on which he felt the lust he couldn't have told me nothing. Says he, I'd better call again. Says she, think likely, mister. That last word pricked him like a pin, and while he up and kissed her. When ma by me upon him slips, hold he saw pale as ashes, all kind of smiley round the lips and teary round the lashes. For she was just the quiet kind whose nature never varied, like streams that keep a summer mind snow hid in January. The blood closed round her heart felt glued, too tight for all expressing, till mothers see how matters stood, and gin 'em both her blessing. Then her red come back like the tide down the Bay of Fundy, and all I know is they was cried and meetin' come next Sunday.
We were both young when I first saw